I would be talking on myopia in children, recent trends in management and also debate. Now, myopia is the most common refractive error and so prevalent that it has attracted the maximum studies worldwide. A recent study by National Eye Institute USA showed that the incidence of myopia in general population has grown from 25% to 45% in the recent years. In the last decade, that is almost it has doubled. Nearly 100 million children and 1.5 billion people worldwide are myopic. Can you imagine 100 million children and 1.9, almost 2 billion people worldwide are myopic. And it is estimated that in the next 10 years, myopic persons would be 2.5 billion. The myopic children would be 2.5 billion. You see, you can understand that. Now, another study has speculated that unless strong action is taken by 2050, half of the world's population would be myopic. By 2050, half of the world's population would be myopic. So it is an epidemic. Projections estimate we leave from one point. Okay, can this alarming epidemic be slowed down? Now, looking at the worldwide figures, a whopping 70 to 90% prevalence exists in some Asian countries, 30 to 40 in Europe and America, and only 10 to 20% in Africa. Why? It's a big question. Since myopia is such a massive public health problem and efforts to control its progression has been futile, it has generated the maximum interest regarding pathogenesis and methods to control myopia progression. Now, I'll just fly over some important points because it has bearing on the management of it. See, the first and foremost cause or reason for myopia is hereditary. We cannot deny it. The major chunk of myopia, and especially the progressive myopia, is hereditary. Nutrition, near work, outdoor activity, biochemical changes, refractive correction, seasonal variation, and illumination. These all factors have been implicated in the progression of myopia. Now, some of them are debatable, and some of them are well understood and documented, but some of them are still debatable. Anyway, now most of the focus now for the prevention of progression of myopia has been on basically these factors, that is lifestyle changes. Now, spectacles, bifocals, contact lenses, defocus contact lenses is another new term which has come, environmental conditions, pharmacological agents, and orthokeratosis. These are the modes of management. And well, half of them are debatable because some of the people do not agree that this has a strong bearing on the progression, but the research has proved some of them. Now, the newer paradigm of management is focusing today on three main areas, and that is environmental conditions, lifestyle changes, and pharmacological agents. Now, what are these? Now, it is a lot of stress is now being given on the environment. Environment means the space in which we live, the space in which we work, and the space which we abound. Now, it has been shown why in Africa it is only the least myopia and least progression. Because from times immortal, we have been wanderers. The human being and the eyes of the human being has been programmed not for near work, but for distance. We have been, natural wanderers, and we have been, the people in the ancient times have been wanderers basically. They are nomads, they were living in, mountains and green meadows and working in fields. That was the outdoor activity they were doing. So eyes have not been programmed for so much of near work which you are now doing. So this is a very strong correlation of myopia which has been documented, and it is not debatable, it is proved. And what is this? अरे भाई ये
Your video there, is it?
No video.
Oh, the final photograph has come. Aren't you late? You should have come at 8 o'clock.
हाँ ये कुछ को आगे चल नहीं रहा है ये.
No, but that's not fair. That's not right. If the session start 8 o'clock, you have to be here at 7:45, please.
So what क्या हो गया भाई? So what has been basically that it has been now proved that 6 hours of indoor activity must be counteracted by 1 hour of outdoor activity. That is what I am telling every child. I have, that is what every child. क्या हुआ भाई? That's नहीं वीडियो है ही नहीं यार इसमें तो. I don't know what क्या बीच में क्या हो गया भाई तुम्हारे यहाँ से. ये हैंग हो गया इधर. हाँ अब करो. Yeah, ठीक है. So what has been now postulated that 6 hours of indoor activity if you do must be counteracted by 1 hour of outdoor activity. So you must always tell the small child that you should always go out in the open air. Oxygen is one of the important things which they are now also talking, that the eyes should get oxygen. If they get oxygen, the pathological effects of elongation of the eye is not there. I mean, there have been lot of theories, lot of work, lot of papers on this, how much of near activity, how much of outdoor should be compensated with that. But oxygen, outdoor activity is now been definitely has been now proved. Then lifestyle changes. See, we have totally, the lifestyle has changed. We have succumbed to indoor activity, computers, laptops, mobile phones. There is too much of strain on the eyes, the muscles, the accommodation, and dim light, artificial light. They say that there's been a lot of papers recent last year in the American Academy. There was a very, very important paper on illumination. They said natural light, which is white color, is more beneficial than a colored light. So we are doing on working in fluorescent lights, which is also harmful to the eyes. I mean, this is all research, which comes at what is good, what is bad for the eyes. So one thing is nearby, which I told you, illumination, food habits. Yes, high protein diet is recommended for to inhibit the progression of myopia. Gadgets that generate radiation, another important factor which should be removed. Then the major stress now is laid on the pharmacological agents to control the progression of myopia. Now, atropine has been used, and there's a lot of research. AIMS is also doing on atropine. I am also recommending atropine. There are almost 5 centers in India which are working on this atropine. It started with 1% atropine, then 0.5%, 0.1. Now it is proved that 0.01% of atropine is the standard regimen for treatment to stop the progression of myopia. It does not act on accommodation. It does not cause mydriasis. It acts on the retina, sclera, and the choroid. It acts on dopamine. It helps in liberation of these very, very small percentage of diluted atropine. Increases the release of dopamine, which prohibits or hinders or checks the elongation of globe, and also controls the defocusing mechanisms, so that a lot of work has been now being done on hyperopic and myopic defocus. Defocus means if the eye is hyperopic, it tries to enlarge, but it is not the vice versa. That once myopia has occurred, if you try to produce hyperopic, myopia, the eye will not become small. But in hyperopic eyes, there is a hyperopic defocus. the focus is on the back, and therefore the eye tries to enlarge to compensate to have that fixed on this. Pirenzepine is another drug which is available in India. Atropine is coming by 3 companies now. Atropine, Myopia, Atropine, there's another. There are 3 companies which are making atropine available in the market very Pirenzepine, another drug which is also available in India. It is a 2% ophthalmic gel used twice daily. And then methylxanthine is another drug which has caused the inhibition of production of myopia, 400 milligram daily dose, starting from 3 years. But all these act only up to 18 years of age, that is there. So with that, I'll conclude. Thank you very much.